What's up, everybody? I'm Gojo, and I'm bringing you guys a what if request from one of my subscribers, and also one who actually commented down on one of my videos about what if that I'm actually quite interested in making. This will be quite interesting since I've actually not made a what if like this one before, even though I've done what if Goku was trapped inside a time chamber, but never what if he was trapped with some other person. So to put it simply, this will be what if Goku and Raditz were trapped inside a time chamber by Piccolo? Or what if Goku and Raditz were trapped inside a time chamber? If you guys are wondering, yes, this will be the title for the video. And also, if you guys are wondering when it would happen, it's obviously in the Saiyan Saga. Now, unlike the original timeline, Piccolo would have actually decided to miss purposely. He probably wanted to injure both Goku and Raditz so they cannot fight, by injuring them in their slightly vital areas, which will make them weak if they cannot use any key control or power ups so they can do anything. Of course, Raditz will be a lot weakened by it, while Goku will be able to endure it, because he's able to endure much more difficult things than that. Of course, Piccolo will just smile at them. Goku, of course, will be confused why Piccolo was doing this, but Goku explains to Goku that he's always been a burden to him, so he should get rid of him by the old-fashioned way. Doesn't ruin spirit of time. Of course, Goku is actually surprised that Piccolo actually knows about it, with Piccolo saying that he was actually able to retain some of his father's memories about Kami before they defuse. Which, of course, he realized that the time travel would be a perfect thing for him to have. Of course, he then knocks out the both Saiyan brothers and eventually flies to Kami's lookout. Of course, Kami is actually surprised to actually see Piccolo there, asking what he's doing here, and then when she sees both Raditz and Goku unconscious and almost bleeding out. Of course, Piccolo tells him to heal both the Saiyans, but also to trap them inside a time chamber, at least until the Saiyans arrive. Of course, Kami is hesitant, but knowing that the power difference between him and Piccolo is large, he knows he doesn't have a chance to even stand a fight against Piccolo, so he decides to agree to Piccolo's words. But in Kami's mind, he thinks that this will be a pretty good opportunity for Goku and Raditz to get stronger and defeat Piccolo if the Saiyans ever come here. It will be the best way for them to do so. Piccolo, of course, still captures Gohan, and he decides to train him, and tells him that if he does not follow his words, his father will die inside the time chamber. Of course, Gohan, being kind of frightened by Piccolo's words, decides to probably listen to him. Knowing that his father is in danger, he decides to listen to Piccolo, and eventually trains with him, training even harder and actually having the determination to surpass Piccolo. With this, of course, this will mean that Piccolo and Gohan will get even stronger than the original. While back inside the time chamber, both Goku and Raditz would have woken up, actually able to get healed thanks to the senzu beads that Kami left for them inside a time chamber, with both of them being confused what happened. Of course, Raditz will try to attack Goku, but Goku, due to having a Zenkai boost, being much more worse than Raditz, he was actually able to kind of close the gap between him and Raditz. But eventually, he was able to tell that they're inside the room of spirit of time, or the time chamber. Of course, that's been confusing, trying to practically blast something away, but Goku will tell him to stop and explain everything to him. Raditz, of course, shot and they try to open the door, but when they try to actually do that, there was nothing on the other side. Goku realized that the other door may be destroyed, and Kai's probably trying to restore it. He wonders why it did happen, but eventually he remembers Piccolo, how he knocked both of them out when they were injured. Raditz, of course, curses on the Namekian, but Goku tells him that he doesn't have to worry about it. They'll get stronger together. Of course, Raditz is hesitant, but he does not listen to Goku, and eventually decides to fly off. Fly a couple of kilometers away, and eventually just stays there, trying to find anywhere so he can escape from this place. Goku tells him that it's just an infinite void of space. Goku then decides to continue his training, using the time that they have inside the time chamber to train and increase his power. Of course, Raditz was indeed hesitant to train with Goku, but after a couple of months would have passed, Raditz would start to get frustrated and realize that he does have to actually get out here with his brother. He decides to practically agree with Goku and train with them. The two brothers would have trained incredibly hard, and eventually, after some time, they both actually bonded together, with Raditz actually able to push himself beyond what he actually expected, and eventually 2 years inside the time chamber would have passed, with both Saiyans increasing their power immensely, with Raditz now achieving Super Saiyan. Of course, this actually surprised Goku because he never thought that they were able to achieve something like that, but Raditz actually surprised that he was able to achieve the legend itself that the Saiyan race had. Of course, Raditz also would change his armor, and had to practically change it so he can not remember his past, want to forget it, and eventually move on. Of course, Raditz now having the Super Saiyan, he was confident maybe he would be able to break out of the time chamber, but Radzi's fears actually would have grown worse, as the door, even when Raditz uses full power, did not budge. It seems like they had to wait even longer than before. And of course, they did decide to use their food sparingly, remembering that they need to do it in the best of their capabilities to survive. But Goku actually realized that the senzu beads were actually kind of different. Goku could feel that they were not aging at all, and eventually he actually sees a note from Kami, where Kami explained that he infused some of his energy within it So Goku and Raditz don't age for at least 10 years, and that's the maximum of his capabilities he can do. Of course, Goku smiles at things coming inside his head, and eventually continues to train with his brother. But of course, Raditz actually able to gain master over the Super Saiyan form. They of course were able to also grow stronger and also achieve Super Saiyan afterwards, actually able to achieve it much more faster than Raditz did a couple of months prior. Eventually, 5 years would have passed, with both Saiyans now growing immensely stronger. Of course, Raditz thinks that maybe they're able to escape now that they have achieved the next level of Super Saiyan and have mastered it, but Goku believes that they need to train even harder. And Raditz actually listens to his brother, decides to agree, and eventually they continue on, with eventually 10 full years passing, as Raditz is fully able to master Super Saiyan and achieve even greater power than ever before. Raditz is actually confident they may be able to escape, but Goku is still not confident enough. They need to train even further to break the limits as most they can. And Raditz decides to actually agree with his brother, seeing his point of view. Both will continue to train, and eventually Goku will be able to achieve Super Saiyan 3 alongside Raditz himself. Both brothers were now even stronger than ever before, and have grown immensely powerful. Goku then says to his brother that they are now ready. They can finally escape the time chamber. Raditz smiles and then tells his brother that it's been a really long while. He actually wonders himself, and even asks Goku of why they did not age at all. Of course, Goku explains about what Kami did with the senzu beans, and is actually surprised that this type of old making can actually do such a thing. Of course, Goku tells him that Kami used most of his life force to practically do that, which of course kind of sounds to Raditz as realize that the good Namekian that helped them is practically sacrificing a lot to practically keep them safe. Goku tells him that with this power that they have right now, they're easily able to escape a time chamber. Raditz then nods to his brother, and of course, he also tells Goku that he's sorry for what he has done to Gohan and him back then. He apologizes to Goku, but Goku tells him that he has already forgiven him. He can tell that Raditz has changed over the years that he spent inside the time chamber. He can tell that Raditz became a better person. Raditz of course smiles and thanks his brother, with Raditz telling that they'll defeat the Saiyans and even Frieza. But he also tells his brother that since they are not strong enough, they should escape right now. Goku agrees and tells his brother if he's ready. Raditz nods as both of them power up, with their power shaking the entire time chamber as the world itself inside the time chamber starts to crack. And eventually, outside when Kami was training the humans, they will see a crack in the time chamber's door, and eventually an explosion will occur, with immense power being sensed as well. All the fighters will be on guard, but eventually, as Goku and Raditz will walk out, Goku will be in Super Saiyan 3. And eventually, he decides to drop out of the transformation. Both Raditz and Goku would give each other a thumbs up, and eventually fist bump each other. Both of them smiling as they finally escape the time chamber after so long. For them, it was 10 years, but for the outside, it was only 10 days. But their power have grown immensely. Both Raditz and Goku were happy about the progress they had made, and they're really happy that they're now free. Of course, all the fighters were still on guard because of Raditz, but eventually, after some long explanation and Goku's convincing, they're actually able to realize that Raditz actually changed. He's actually a better person. He's not the evil Saiyan he was when he practically tried to keep down Gohan. But of course, Raditz actually wants to practically save his nephew Gohan from Piccolo's clutches. Of course, Kami does tell Raditz about how Piccolo is actually linked to him in Dragon Balls as well. Of course, Raditz told Kami that he already knows that, and he tells him that he will not kill Piccolo, but instead he'll practically do something. Instead, he will not try him inside the time chamber, no, because he knows that the Namekian will practically get stronger to practically get revenge on him. So instead, he'll just knock him out, and of course, Kami to practically seal him. Kami will actually agree with this idea, eventually teaching the seal to Raditz so he can practically seal Piccolo. Of course, by the time Gohan had grown immensely strong, with his power level actually be a lot higher in those 10 days. Gohan have trained harshly himself so he can increase his power and eventually surpass Piccolo. So he would have already reached a power level of at least 1,300 at the time of the 10 days passing, while Piccolo was able to at least achieve a power level of 3,300 at the time. Of course, Piccolo senses the energy of Goku and Raditz, he's surprised they were actually able to escape the time chamber. He didn't actually believe himself they're able to escape. Of course, Raditz tells Piccolo that he's made a great mistake by just trapping Saiyans for a room where time passes a really long while, because Saiyans can always increase their powers and strength because of their potential. And Raditz tells Piccolo that it's time for him to witness the pain he caused to both him and his brother. Raditz then pummels down Piccolo with ease, as Piccolo is actually surprised that Raditz actually even stronger than before. He thought that maybe inside he would actually age to death, but now he's even stronger than he expected. How is this possible? But Raditz does not question anything, instead knocking out Piccolo and eventually you see him using the Mafuba. As for Gohan, he then Raditz just goes up to him and pats him on the head, telling him that everything is now okay. Of course, Gohan was actually slightly scared, but when he sees a gentle look on Raditz's face, Gohan starts to relax and thanks Raditz. Gohan, of course, smiles and hugs his son, as Gohan was actually happy to actually see Goku once again. Of course, Gohan actually wonders of why Raz is much more different than he was before. It's been only 10 days, but he can tell that Raz actually been through much more than just 10 days. Goku eventually explains the whole incident with the time chamber, and of course, Gohan is actually kind of sad because his father and now his Uncle Raditz has spent so much long inside the time chamber alone. Of course, I was telling him that it was alright, and he actually was able to practically reflect on the past, and even the mistakes he has done. He apologizes to Gohan and tells him he'll be better. Gohan smiles and thanks his uncle, and he tells him that what are they gonna do about the Saiyans. Raditz and Goku just smile at one another, telling that they'll handle them this by themselves. And guys, it's the end for the sport. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys in the next one. So everyone, see you next time.